Hello, hello, and welcome, or should I say ho, 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 Christmas cousins? I am Cousin Chad.
And I'm Cousin Seth.
And we have back returning the number one returning guest of all time in the history of the Christmas Cousins podcast from YouTube fame, the Christmas aficionado himself. Welcome back, Joe. This is so exciting having you back again. Crowd favorite.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. This is amazing. So we are here. It's like the thick of things in Christmas. It's so exciting. You can feel Christmas everywhere. It's like exploding around us. And we want to talk about a true Christmas classic. Joe, I know you're a big fan. You tasked us with this. So we are going to be reviewing a Charlie Brown Christmas. So what do you think, crowd? Well, I think everybody's a big fan of this one, or at least is aware of it. Okay, big fan. We brought in a special band. I asked them to learn how to play the Vincent Guaraldi tunes. Let's hear how it worked out. They're not the best band. Let's hear. Oh, geez. Okay. No. Guys, try again. I don't think that's it. Oh, my gosh. Seth, we need a new marching band. We really do.
Yeah.
I'm throwing them out. Yeah.
Forget anything like the Peanuts song or anything that I heard.
No. I see them picking up instruments. Hang on. They're going to try again. Let's see. Oh, God, it's just not. Fire. All right. Let's not go to the band anymore. I appreciate the crowd here. They're excited to see you, Joe. So let's talk about Charlie Brown Christmas. You are a huge Peanuts fan. I know you make Peanuts cutouts for your yard decorations for Thanksgiving, for Halloween, for Christmas. You're quite the artiste. Tell us about your fascination with Peanuts to get started.
So we all talked about we talked about a Hallmark movie on here. We've talked about the TV show Christmas episodes with the Brady Bunch and even the reunion movies. You guys have explored, you're exploring movies with Alonzo and other people giving you recommendations. But the one thing you haven't talked about, and Seth, you need to watch before Christmas is the Christmas special. And that is the, once a year renew episode of something that they show over and over and over again. And two of the classics are either Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or A Charlie Brown Christmas, which has always been my favorite of all of the specials that have been on. And I remember watching this as a kid.
Okay.
And, we're all the same age, so you already know that if there was something special we wanted on, you had to search for the TV guide to see what day it was going to play on. And that's, if you missed it, you either taped it with your VCR or you missed it.
Right.
And so Charlie Brown Christmas was the one that I always made sure I had to watch. It's not obviously shown on TV anymore because Apple bought it, so you have to have Apple subscription to watch it. But people, you own it I own it on DVD now. I have a copy of it on my server that I can watch anytime I want. But it's a tradition for me. I have to watch it. I try to watch it at least a week before Christmas. So I'll probably, I watched it earlier, just I watch it again just for our discussion, even though I've probably seen it, 50 times. To me, it's really special. I love the characters. I used to read the comic book strip. I have books on the comic books, on the strips where I would go back through and read through. You could read all the comic strips that's ever been produced. And there's books on them.
And didn't you recently get some indelible marking on your body in honor of Peanuts?
I did.
Is this true?
Seth, from what I understand, Seth and I have a tattoo.
Yes.
Did you really? This is a recent addition?
I did. This year, I said I wanted to get a Christmas tattoo. And I decided, and it took me a while to figure out what Christmas thing I would get on. And then I was like, well, it's in plain sight. The Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
Yes.
I have, so Seth, you and I have a Peanuts tattoo on our bodies. Mine is on my leg. I posted it on Instagram, so you can actually see. It's from earlier in October. I can show you guys if you want to see it.
We'd
Yeah, I
love
want
to.
to. And so this is this year. You just got it, right?
I
Take a
did.
look.
So let me here.
You're
I'll
going
stand
to
up and
take.
I'll
Okay.
stand it up
Yeah,
and see. If
mine's
we
on
can
my
see
the
lower
big
back.
reveal.
So, no kidding.
There it is. Let's see.
it is.
Oh,
See the
there it
tree?
is. The tree. Very cool. Like that.
Nice.
I love that. Did you have people commented? I mean, now you're wearing pants because it's mainly cold out. So
That's the thing. Like nobody has seen it because I got it in October or September, October. One of those. I think October. Yeah, I got it in
It's a
October
funny
and it's been cold, so nobody's seen it.
it's a funny tattoo because you'll only see it during warm weather months. You'll never see it when people are like, "Hey, Christmas time."
Yeah, but no. So I said, well, if I'm going to get I'm going to get the Charlie Brown tattoo of the tree with the ornament as it's sort of falling over.
Wow.
Because I love the special, and I also wanted something Christmassy. And then, as you mentioned, yeah, I make yard decorations, and I've made
Yes.
the Christmas ones, and then I was told, oh, you should make the Halloween, which I did. Based on the Halloween special. And then last year I made the Thanksgiving ones. And then this year for Christmas, I even I made Lucy's psychiatry booth.
Yes, I saw that. And you can see this on at Christmas Aficionado on Instagram as well. At Christmas Aficionado. You'll figure out how to spell it.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at it right now.
And so I can take Lucy out and then I can flip the sign and have it say out, or when I put her back in, I can flip the sign, it'll say real in. And then for the town that I live in, I made all of the Peanut characters as they dance. Those were on a parade float. And very now fun. They're on display around the Christmas tree in my town. And I was real happy to do that because I wanted to make them, but I also don't have the yard space in my front yard anymore because I've got so much stuff in it. So now that there's a park across the street from my house where there's a tree, and all those characters are sitting around that tree as well. So,
oh my gosh, that's
great.
Yeah. But so that's been my new hobby, is to making the Peanut characters yard decorations. So
wait, now that you've shown it, turnabout is fair play. You've shown your tattoo. Seth, this thing has been a lock and key. I haven't seen it myself in years. What year did you get it? I think it was 1960. Seth, is how you got this?
No, so I was like 14. I think I was 14.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. I'm sure the place has long been shut down and condemned.
I would hope so.
But it was I went back. We had just moved up to Chicago, and I went back to Houston to visit a friend for a weekend, and we went to Galveston. And while we were there, which is like just sea or
it's a port city.
Port city. Thank you. And we went in, and I didn't. No. It was a combination of not having a ton of money and like being first tattoo. I'm like, I know. So I got a tattoo in the likeness of Snoopy. It hasn't aged well. Oh, I say it hasn't aged well. That's not fair to say, because it looks like an Amish Snoopy. I don't know if that was the original intention. So nothing against the Amish.
What is it? Where, Seth, show it, please. Reveal. We need the big reveal right now, Seth.
This row.
I have seen it, Joe. You just have to lift it up. It's on your.
I will send a picture. I promise. You will have a picture when this airs.
He's been saying he's going to send a picture for so long, and he will not. I'm about to tell on him and call his parents.
It's faded a lot.
It's Snoopy with a beard. Is that what it is?
No, it's Snoopy with this hat on. I guess it should be like. And not that I was going for anything like this, but I guess if anything, it looks like he looks like a detective. So maybe it's Detective Snoopy. But
is there a Detective Snoopy?
The artist, I don't know. The artist took some creative liberties.
Oh, and the Sherlock Holmes hat, is that what it is?
No, it's not even that cool.
Oh no!
It's
my gosh.
Yeah, I will provide a picture.
I have it. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. Where he's wearing the little old reporter style top hat. Is that the one?
Kind of. I have to look at it.
Wow.
It's been a while since I even looked at it.
Can Joe do a full YouTube special on your tattoos? It's not Christmas related, but the history. I mean, I think this would get 1 million views at least.
Well,
I'm fascinated.
We have to post.
It's not the uncle, right? Because there's an uncle that wears a hat.
Oh no,
Spike.
it's
not Spike.
Oh, Spike, right?
Oh no, I'm not familiar with Spike.
Spike is
Snoopy's uncle Spike.
Spike lives out in the desert, and he's really tiny and thin.
Is that
if you guys will give me 1 second, I might be able to confirm this. And we might have figured out this at least 30 plus year. Oh my God. Is that what that is? Is that what's on my back? Hold on. You guys banter for a second. I'll be right back.
Oh my God.
Joe, this is the biggest news. So Seth has a tattoo. He has no idea who the character is, just a vague notion of who it is.
Well, when he said it was an Amish guy, that's where I started going towards. I'm like, Snoopy has a brothers. Well, he has a bunch of brothers, and
right.
and this kind of goes back to my love of Peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
It's a hard one. Your mind is blown. Seth does that to you. Okay. Seth is back. Is he going to confirm? Is this Spike?
Is everybody sitting down?
Oh, we can't wait.
Oh,
this is great.
I say we've started, or you primarily, started a podcast. It was your idea to start a podcast and exposing a lot of the things that I've missed out on life, a lot of things that have eluded me in life. So with that, I want to say that Cousin Joe, you have figured out what's been tattooed on my back for the past 30 It's Spike.
Oh my gosh.
Although he doesn't. Now I think I have to get the thing altered because the pictures I'm seeing of the Spike character, he's got whiskers.
Yeah, does yours doesn't?
I don't think mine has whiskers.
You couldn't afford the whiskers. You can get what you got.
I thought they'd have a lot of money. Oh my God!
Am I still clapping, Seth? This is wild.
Oh my God! Do I get this thing touched up after all these years and get whiskers added?
Yes, I think so. Wow.
All right. We have to confirm. I have to see when you send us the picture. We can confirm. Yes. But yes, it sounds like you have Spike on your back, not Snoopy. That's his brother that lives out in the desert. There's actually a whole movie that you should watch. About Spike. It's with him with a live action
really
characters. Yes, and he actually falls in love with this woman in this movie. It's one of the weirdest things you'll ever see. But yeah, I'll send you the link on and just see if you can find it. It's hard to find. It's not something that I think is out there, but yeah, Spike has Snoopy's brother. Yeah.
If you're listening right now, message us at Christmas Cousins Pod or at Christmas Aficionado or ChristmasCousinsPod@gmail.com and simply say Spike Tattoo. I would love to see who's interested enough. This is a fascinating. We were here to talk about the movie. Again, Seth usurped the movie and made it all about himself because Seth, this is why you're the huge crowd favorite. We never know what you're going to do next. Like they say, well, if they don't like him, why do they listen? We want to see what he's going to say next, to quote Pig Virus.
Okay. I'm just going to read this real quick, just because this is all new to me. So Spike, as you said, he's the main character in the Peanuts comic strip by Charles Schulz. He is Snoopy's brother who lives alone in the California desert. He first appeared in the strip from August 13th, 1975, and has appeared in Peanuts more frequently than any other of Snoopy's siblings. In the Sunday strip from October 13th, 1996, he is given Mickey Mouse's shoes and often wears them in later strips. He is very skinny in appearance.
And it also mentions, Seth, I'm looking on Wikipedia, that it's been indissolubly added to your back decades ago, and you had no knowledge of who it was, who the person, who the character was. And I remembered, that's how closely I studied you, Seth. I remembered he had a hat, even though you keep it hidden. Now, Joe, let's get to his wrist tattoo.
I think this has completely. I think this has become the greatest moment of your podcast. This is Toffles, him drinking eggnog for the first time.
Yes.
This is big for me.
Yes,
For everybody.
we've just discovered what is the tattoo that he actually got on his back? What,
decades ago,
almost
30 years ago. 30. Proud? Are you amazed? I mean, this is wild.
That's 33 years ago. Is that right? 32? I don't know.
Whatever it was, Seth, you were underage. The guy who did the tattoo was just getting out of prison for tattooing minors. And we found out you didn't know who Spike was. You never heard of Spike, but you have a tattoo of him on your back. This is wild, Seth.
Right. I got a Snoopy tattoo, and I've been hiding a Snoopy tattoo from the world for years.
Now,
and
proudly
it wasn't even a Snoopy tattoo.
All right.
So I guess even so, what would ever compel? I walk into a tattoo parlor. What would ever compel me to that be the design? I mean, was I into Snoopy at the time? No. What was I into at that time? I was big into skateboarding. Yeah, apparently his detective uncle. But anyway.
All right, hold on. Whoa! Stop the clock. You were not into Snoopy, but yet you chose this.
Well, so that's
Spike tattoo.
Yeah,
and this isn't probably about the same time that the one Calvin Brodus, who we now know as Snoop Dogg. I don't know if they were calling him Snoop Dogg then, but when I was very young, my dad called me Snoop. I mean, it's offshoot from Snoopy, and
should have called you Spike.
What's that?
He should have called you Spike.
Right. There's a few other S words it was called. Something head for brains. I'm kidding. Dad, if you're listening.
Oh my gosh. This is awesome.
So that was it when we went into this tattoo parlor. But so I went back to visit some friends. Most importantly, my friend Lisa, who's a girl I was very good friends with, grew up with, went with her. Her mom drove us, and we went.
Is this going to be as long as the last game we played when Joe was on? Okay.
But we went
Lisa's
boyfriend.
We went on I-95 South. We took a right turn on I-70 West.
We stopped for brunch.
We got some plantain chips, shrimp and chocolate. Okay, go on, Seth.
So I got the tattoo, and Lisa's boyfriend at the time got the tattoo, or got a tattoo. Not when you get the same tattoos, that would have been weird.
Yeah.
So that made the story very weird.
That's the most normal part of this whole story.
He opted for my friend Lisa, he was dating at the time, for her name. So he got her name tattooed on the inside of his thigh. Well, we all know how that works out every time.
Great ideas on this trip, Seth.
So of the two tattoos that day, the artist should, I don't know.
You got the better end of the deal.
You did.
I think so. Joe, yeah, absolutely.
Joe, will you be adding Spike to the Peanuts decorations for your lawn ornaments next year?
I might have to put them off on the side of my house, and I might have to, because I mean, I love Spike. I think Spike's a fun character.
Wow!
All right.
Oh my God! There's so many parallels.
Talking about the Christmas special.
Originally Spike lived with coyotes, but they mistreated him, so he moved out somewhere close to the city of Needles, California.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, this
Charles
is fascinating.
Schultz is rolling in his grave right now.
Or cracking
this is
up.
Wild stuff. He's calling into the show, Mr. Schultz. Oh, yeah. What's that? Oh, okay.
You're telling me this idiot got a tattoo of one of my most notable works.
Oh my gosh. Let's try to collect our brains off the walls and try to get to the show itself, because we do have to move on at some point. But this is wild. If you're listening, this is great. This is what a revelation. I had no idea. Joe?
Neither did I, apparently.
You're right. Better than the eggnog episode, Seth. You've outdone yourself yet again. I don't know how you did that, but you did. You did.
I hope
so now I have to provide the picture. There's no turning back now.
I hope you're recording the video of this so you can get our reactions when we discover this.
I have video. I have video. I have our brains
Because
blowing up.
I'm having a hard time controlling my laughter here. It's just so hard.
I can't, yeah, because we'll all be telling our wives, tonight, Joe, you and I will both be telling our wives, like, you cannot believe what happened today on the show.
I can't wait to tell my wife
tonight. And you'll see that Spike this season. You can add Spike this holiday season. Seth will get it tattooed.
You'll see kids with like temporary tattoos of Spike. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it's the new trend. All right, so we have to get to this show, and this means a lot to Joe. So we're getting to Charlie Brown Christmas away from Seth, Bad Tattoo Regret Christmas. So this was thank you, Seth, for sharing. Do not forget to send the picture. I'm not letting it go.
You'll have it today, I promise.
Okay, so this came out December 9th, 1965, Joe, and I'll let you take the lead here because you know so much more about it, but I just want to say it starts off, it catches you right off the bat. The classic music, the snow, reminiscent of Charles Schultz's background in Minneapolis or wherever he was from. And so you kind of said it right there, like, oh, this is going to be a happy-go-lucky Christmas special. But it doesn't, right?
It's pretty dark.
It is.
I mean, it's not like super dark, but it's for a kid for 1965 when probably Christmas was not celebrated starting in October, and probably people started celebrating like the week before at the most. Decorations were up, and people. I'm sure the commercialism of I'm just basing this on my gut reaction. I made a list one time of like the most essential 7 Christmas villains, and the number 1 was commercialism from Charlie Brown Christmas, because he's so it depresses Charlie Brown so much that that they're probably like under 10 years old, and he's depressed about the holidays when he shouldn't be. Like, this is the best time of the year,
Well, Joe, can I say, think about this, the irony that now you have to pay to watch it on Apple TV when it used to be free on TV. So it's against the commercialism that bummed out Charlie Brown. He would have to get an Apple TV subscription to watch it himself. That's ironic, I think.
It is very, very ironic. And also very ironic that it's also anytime you have you want to buy something Charlie Brown related for Christmas, it's just out. It's everywhere. I mean, Charlie Brown Christmas is still the most popular special out of all the. I mean, there's probably 30 or 40 different TV specials. There was movies. There was TV series. But the Christmas one was the first. And
look, people even have Spike tattoos now. That's how big Peanuts has gotten.
It is.
Like the Hallmark stores and stuff like that, littered with that Snoopy character stuff.
Yeah.
And doing various activities, skiing. I don't know much about them, but it's a very different though when you see the merchandise for Charlie Brown Christmas now. And you look at the special, because it's very different. It's very happy and cheerful. They're all smiling and stuff. And that's why I made the art decorations in my front yard. I made the scene at the very end where they're all looking at the tree and smiling after they decorated it. Charlie Brown comes back and is astonished by, taking that little twig, and now it's this somehow turns into this full-blown tree that's all decorated and stuff. I made those. That's the scene. That's my favorite scene from the whole special. I wanted that to be in my front yard. And so, I think the weird depression that Charlie Brown's in, but then he learns a valuable lesson at the end of, the true meaning of Christmas from Linus, and then realizing that, even though he got this tree that's not the plastic plaid tree that they have like in the special, it's still special, and I love that realization. So that's why I really, really love the special.
Joe, you know what I saw when I was reading up a little the history of this? It was fascinating that around the time of this, the aluminum trees were huge. And after Charlie Brown went with this tree, which you have tattooed now, it killed the aluminum Christmas tree business almost completely, right? They stopped producing them after this.
I don't know the history about that, but I mean, the aluminum Christmas trees kind of disappeared. They're
Yeah,
not as popular anymore. It's
crazy.
almost impossible to find an antique one that's in good
right.
shape. I would love to get one. I think
Mm-hmm.
that would be amazing. But yeah, I think real Christmas trees sort of became a thing. I would
Right.
think after this, and inspired quite a bit. You know, there's so much that happens in this. And Seth, I was going to ask you, and I heard you talk about it on an episode recently, that you have seen this, because that's what I wanted to know. Okay, have you watched it more than once?
Well, now I have, yes, because I watched it again a couple days ago. But I originally, when I said that, I was thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, it was the Christmas special, but there was a Thanksgiving one, and I don't know.
Right.
We saw it in the theater a couple of years ago, but from what I understand, there's a regularly aired or annually aired episode. Like, it's a Thanksgiving one, so I guess it's a little out of the season. But
well, Seth, if you grew up in America, you would have seen all these growing up. I don't know where you grew up, Seth. What planet? You and Fred Norris from Mars or something? But
you don't know what happened to me after those 2 weeks. I come down to we come visit in the summer or anything outside of that.
That's true. I don't know when you left, when you came to visit us at the Jersey Shore growing up. I don't know where you went after. You did go straight up in your ship. I thought it was a cool car. But...
I mean, there's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, which is the Halloween one. And then Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is the one where they all have Thanksgiving in his backyard. They make toast and popcorn and jelly beans. And they have a Thanksgiving dinner in the backyard. None of this sounds familiar.
Yeah,
does even Thanksgiving Thanksgiving sound familiar, Seth? Are you familiar with
like I understand
and the Pilgrims?
I understand the not watching the Christmas one because of how you of growing up Jewish, but
not catching it,
but the Thanksgiving was kind of American holidays you can get, but those three are to me are like the greatest specials ever. And that's why, and so I'm glad that you did at least see the Christmas special at least once, even though it doesn't feature Spike.
Yeah, right. Yeah, his boy Spike. Joe, I have to say, I wasn't a huge like Peanuts fan, and I was like, oh, I'll watch this. It'll be cool to watch, but it's not like a thing that I would watch every year. And I watched it, of course, because we were reviewing it, and I absolutely loved it. I loved it right from the get-go. I didn't know what to expect. I was like, oh, is it going to resonate with me now? Because I haven't seen it in years. Right off the bat, the setting. And then when Charlie has this mini existential crisis or a full-blown existential crisis for a 10-year-old not enjoying Christmas, I was all in. And they got that so keyed in like 2 minutes into the special. I was like, wow, this has a depth that I didn't realize. And someone told me that they use I think it was our guest, Chris from ChristmasEveryMinute.com, that they're all children actually voice acting. So I was listening with a different ear, hearing them, and they were fantastic. The kids too, getting the intonations.
They were
and
all.
emotions.
I think the only two that were actors were Charlie Brown and Linus, the voice actors. Everybody else were just kids. And wow. I read at one point like one of them didn't know how to read. I think the one who played Sally. So they just had to have her. They would say the line and have her say it. She's the one that goes. All I want is my fair share, where she's talking, she has her Christmas list. And so,
like they do with Beetlejuice.
Yes. And, sorry. But yeah, so, I mean, everything about the special is just, to me is fascinating is right. the choice of the music, the using the kids, the choir. They had a kid choir to sing all those songs. And they wanted them to be real. They didn't want them to be perfect. So they said, if you go off key, great. That's what we want, because kids don't sing on key, for the most part, unless you're like a perfect, pitch kid. But, and
it had enough in there for the adults too. One of my favorite lines is, I think it's Lucy. They say, "What did you want for Christmas that you didn't get?" And she goes, "I never get the gift I want. I wanted real estate." I thought that was a great line.
Yeah. And again, look at Charles Schultz writing on this thing. He's so far ahead of where they were probably in 1965, realizing that this is what's happening to Christmas. It's becoming very commercialized. And so Charlie Brown is always him. Charlie Brown was him. He always felt, from what I've read, he felt that he was kind of plain looking. He was an ordinary kid, but he used Charlie Brown as him, and that's why Charlie Brown never would kick the football. That's why Charlie Brown was never able to get ahead in life, essentially.
Right.
Poor guy. And then, but in this special, he comes around and he realizes that everybody else is wrong. He knows what he's realized what Christmas is, and he doesn't listen to all the people who make fun of him. And he takes his tree and he goes home. That's his thing. So,
and he's happy with it. And the tree wasn't perfect, and that was the point, but it was authentic and it meant something to him. And that's kind of the point of everything. They really bully him a lot in this. I mean, they're not nice.
Yeah,
they're
right
not nice. They're never nice to him. I mean, look at the Halloween one where they're trying to practice how they're gonna cut the pumpkin, and so they have him sit down and they have him turn around and they draw what the face of the pumpkin on the back of his head. I mean, it's just, and then he gets rocks. When he goes to trick or treat, the adults give him rocks instead of candy. So I mean, this kid just has the worst life. I mean, I guess I think we understand why he's depressed.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a black cloud over my head. Oh.
Yeah, it's like a downtrodden, follically challenged adolescent. It's he's got a lot going on with him.
They're like, even at the end when he has the tree and they all love it decorated, they're like, yeah, you're a blockhead, but your tree is awesome, basically. Like, wow. Ease up.
So one of the most fast. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish your thing because I was going to
say real quick. When they give him the kind of the role to direct, he's not real confident about doing it and stuff like that, but he does it and it gives him some purpose. And it's just like it seems like he's just zeroed in. I know there's other, he's getting flack from other stuff like that, but you're like, okay, so Chuck's got some purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
It's motivating him.
That's right.
One of the most fascinating things, and I'm making a video on this, and I don't know when it's going to be out. It'll be out hopefully by the end of the year.
Nice.
Was about the characters.
We've got the scoop
in Christmas in this special, and it sounds like you guys aren't as familiar with some of the Peanuts characters as maybe as I was. But did you know who all the kids are? Besides, like the main characters.
the main characters, yes.
Like Charlie Brown, Lucy, Sally,
Linus,
Schroeder,
Pigpen. Oh, okay. Yeah. I wouldn't have said Schroeder.
Me too. Right.
I don't know.
The piano player.
Schroeder's the piano player. So there's a few characters that are in here. You said Pigpen. Everybody knows Pigpen. He's probably my favorite character out of all of them. But like we have Frida.
Yeah, who's Frida?
She is the one who has the red, naturally curly hair. So she's like she's teamed up with Pigpen, and she goes, "Oh, you're ruining my naturally curly hair,"
Yes, right. Okay.
And then there's Shermie, who's the one who's always chosen as the shepherd. He's kind of Shermie has always been kind of like another Charlie Brown. He's just kind of that kid that everybody knows, but he's always there, but he doesn't get tortured like Charlie Brown does, but he's very similar to Charlie Brown. He's kind of boring,
Right.
Violet Gray's the one who yells when he thanks her for the Christmas post or the Christmas card, and she tells him, "I never gave you a Christmas card," and she yells at him. Patty is her friend.
Peppermint Patty.
No, that's not Peppermint. Peppermint Patty's not in this one. She wasn't created yet. No, her name is just Patty. She was like her partner in crime. Essentially, was Violet. They were kind of like the mean girls. They were always teamed up with Lucy too, so they all kind of pick on Charlie Brown. But the ones that are fascinating, the ones that I really love, and most people do not know who these people are. there is a kid that walks with his arm where they're doing the dancing sequence. If you remember that, there's a kid who walks out and his arms are straight and he's just stepping, but he's not moving, and he's just going up and down like this. And then there are two twin girls that are they're when they dance, their heads are going back and forth, and they're exactly the same. These three characters are the most fascinating characters in Charlie Brown because of their names. Okay. They're all siblings.
Mm-hmm.
The boy who does the weird dance, his name is Five.
Five? Wow. Okay.
And Roman numeral V or whatever. And he goes, nope, it's just the number 5. That's his name.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm looking him up. Oh, there he is. I guess. Oh, 555955472.
Yeah.
Something.
Call it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
His twin sisters, his younger twin sisters, are 3 and 4. So their family is 3, 4, and 5. Those are the siblings, and their last name is 95472 with the accent on the 4. And so it's most people don't know. Most people just think they're just like these characters, but these were actual characters in the comic strip.
I just pulled up the actual comic strip. It's fascinating, right? How he explains it to him. Because your name is what?
Yeah, his full name is 555-95472.
Never heard of him. He says, my dad says we have so many numbers these days, we're losing our identity, so everyone in our family should have a number instead of a name. Charlie Brown, I'd like you to meet 5. And Charlie Brown goes, oh no.
Yeah.
That's really funny. And I never heard of this.
So the backstory and from my research, that is the reason why Charles Schultz, I think, is a genius with coming up with characters. Some of the characters in the Peanut world are amazing, but there's a lot of them that are also they go away quickly. Shermie is one of those characters that kind of shows up in the beginning, but he disappears fairly quickly. So is Patty. He brings in Peppermint Patty and Marcy and Franklin and all those, the more well-known characters. They came into play, but in the comic book strip and early on in the 60s, 3, 4, and 5 were characters that were reoccurring quite often.
Oh, wow.
Now, they may not say anything. They might just be in the background or whatever, but they were there for a while. And the reason why he gave them the last name of 95472 is because he was living in the area that he was living in. They decided to change the zip code because of what they were doing. And his zip code got changed. And that made him mad. And so he named the characters after the last name after that zip code. And this is kind of where I'm kind of going, I don't understand why why that's going to get back at the people who change the zip code, the state or whatever it is. But that was the reason. The characters kind of disappeared from the comic strip shortly after by the 70s, I believe. They were in the background on some of the specials and some of the movies and stuff like that, but they never have any. None of them actually, I think, ever had a voice said anything, because these characters don't say anything in the Christmas special. They don't say anything in the movies, from what I remember. But it's fascinating.
That's great. That's the best backstory of any character, for sure.
I knew that if we were going to talk about it, everyone's seen the special. We could have gone through the scene by scene, but for me, I think the more fascinating thing is the fact that there's a character named 3, 4, and 5.
Oh my gosh! And you had no idea. You would have no idea. Joe, Seth may have them tattooed on his body and have no idea. That's the wild part.
I've been checking while you've been talking.
Or he went to go get, or he would have gotten a tattoo of 4 and he accidentally got 3 on it.
That's right. And have no idea for decades he's had this tattoo and had no idea. This is amazing. But I do have to wrap it up shortly. Is there anything else that we need to cover? I know there's a lot we're not covering, and I don't want to give it short shrift, but I think most people have seen it. They have the idea of it. The setting is that he has the melancholy, he has a revelation, and he finds the true spirit of Christmas for himself. And it really has become a classic since 1965. It's like a must see pretty much for a large majority of the country.
Yeah, I think the fact that everyone has seen it, we don't need to go through it scene by scene, but I think just pointing out, the one last thing that Seth needs to make sure he always watches before Christmas is Charlie Brown Christmas or Rudolph or something that has been iconic since, the 60s. This is the second Christmas special ever on TV.
Wow.
Rudolph was the first. Yeah, Rudolph was first. Wow. Then the next year, Coke said they wanted the special Christmas special, and they sponsored it through with the Peanuts. And so, think about it. Back in the 60s, TV was still, they've been around for a while, but there was not a lot of like Christmas specials of like for kids and stuff. So this was the second one. It is still on, it's still around. It's not played on TV anymore, but obviously, but it is probably, for me, is my favorite.
The initial airing had 15,500,000 views in the initial airing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was no option.
Every single TV.
50% of homes that had a TV were tuned into that night. It was huge.
Wow.
That's crazy. That night or Bonanza. That's what it was. And think about it. No one's watching Bonanza anymore, but everybody's still watching this special. So really crazy.
He said Rudolph was number one. Did that have the viewership initially?
I don't know.
I think he's John Hine.
Probably. I would imagine it probably did very well. I'm not a huge historical person on TV ratings, I guess, but I do know that Rudolph led to all the rest of these, and then the fact that this is only half an hour long. Even though our podcast is way longer than that.
So this story, the Rudolph, I'm writing it down because I've never seen it, but it's the Rudolfo Valentino story. That's your Rudolph you're talking about?
Do you have a tattoo of him on the back?
Possibly. You never know at this point. But yeah, so maybe that's going to be another thing. I'm aware of the story of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but what I did not know was this land of misfit toys, which was the more intriguing. When I found out at 47 years old, that was the more intriguing thing. I was like, oh, okay. If I would have discovered that in my delinquency or the infancy of my delinquency, it's like, oh, this gives me something to identify with. So
yeah, really, you would have loved that island, Seth, for sure.
But I know. I have to check that one out too.
Yeah, I know. Well, I do have to wrap it up, but this was, the special was really enjoyable, and I am looking forward to watching it again. I may watch it this holiday season again. I'd like to see if my kids want to. And also the tattoo. We had trouble processing, I think, segueing into the Arthur task at hand.
I think that's why this is just, we're just kind of glossing over it at this point because we spent 25 minutes talking about a tattoo.
Well, you caught us all off guard. This is new to everybody.
Even Seth.
All right, so make sure this has to be on Instagram. We have to see the tattoo. I'll send you a picture of mine, and then so Seth and I are bonded. We have peanut tattoos, so
yes.
Chad,
I'll have to get one.
To you now. It's up to you.
The number 5.
You're gonna get 5?
3, 4, 5 on my knuckles.
Oh, sweet.
Nice. I like it.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you for listening. I hope you weren't driving when Seth revealed he didn't know who his tattoo was and pulled off on the side of the road, drove safely. You never know what's going to happen. So thank you all so much. If you're listening at this point, give us a rating on iTunes or give us a follow on Spotify or whatever, or reach out to us. You could find Joe, the Christmas Aficionado, on Instagram at Christmas Aficionado or YouTube, Christmas Aficionado. And also you can reach out to us at Christmas Cousins Pod or christmascousinspod@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Hashtag Spike Tattoo, hashtag Sethies, hashtag Mindblown. It's wild. Hashtag Bobo. There's a whole thing going on here.
And so when you do come to my channel, I would appreciate if you subscribe. You know what to do.
Yes.
You know what to do.
You know what to do. Exactly. Yes. Please subscribe to Joe and check out all his shows. They're really cool, really interesting.
They are.
And again, if you're not going to make it to Medina, Ohio, he's got a great one where he goes to Castle Noel, the museum, the Christmas museum. Very cool. So everybody, thank you so much. I am Cousin Chad. I think I'm kind of, my mind is still blown. I think I'm Cousin Chad.
My cousin Seth, my cousin Spike.
Cousin Spike.
My cousin Spike's representative.
Joe, do you even remember who you are at this point?
I just have made history as the greatest Christmas Cousins podcast episode ever, and I've been part of it, and I'm very, 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 very thankful.
You did it again, Seth.
Thank you for the inspiration and confidence to come out with this today.